What's up guys, it's Aaronitmar, and today I wanted to talk about the upcoming 5th Fighter DLC showcase and sort of respond to what everyone has been saying with regards to this character and Sakurai, and just give my thoughts about it because I feel like I haven't talked about the 5th Fighter too much since Terry came out. So yesterday they announced that tomorrow we are going to be getting a showcase of the 5th character, and this one is unique because we have not seen who the character is ahead of time. With Hero, with Banjo, and with Terry, all three of those had announcements before the actual showcase. This time we're actually getting a double showcase and reveal at the same time, and it's supposed to be about 35 minutes, and we just straight up don't know who the character is. Now that is still kind of long, but it's shorter than Terry's was, and this one actually includes a full reveal. So I imagine the character won't be as complicated as Terry, or at least Sakurai's not going to go into as much detail as in the background of the character's game series because it just is a bit shorter, so there's just not enough time. So before I talk about all the characters that everyone has been talking about and the speculation with that, I want to talk about another thing people have been discussing, and that is whether we're going to find out about future DLC in this showcase. And to me, I think that the answer is no, kind of. I think that this showcase is going to be specifically only for the new character. They're going to showcase it, reveal it. They're going to show the new stage. They're going to, show the moveset and show, I guess that's part of the showcase, but he's going to get into detail on, everything about the character like we've seen from these overviews. And then Mii Fighter skins, and, just extra stuff like that. Maybe he'll talk about if something comes in a new update, but I think that's everything that's going to be in this showcase. If they show anything, all I think it's going to be is the details on what actually is the deal when it comes to those characters, because we don't know whether it's Fighter Pass 2. All we know is that more DLC is in development. So what that means, as far as what that sentence means, it literally could mean, oh, we're going to add one more character, or we're going to add 30 more characters, okay? This game is going to go into 2025. It just doesn't really mean anything because it's just vague enough to let us know that they're going to do something after this next character, but we don't know the details. So I think if something happens, all we're going to find out is, oh yeah, okay, it's Fighter Pass 2, or okay, it's Echo Pass 2, or something like, or Echo Pass 1, or something like that, I don't think we're going to get a reveal for the next character. I just think they're going to tell us, like they did with the first Fighter Pass, the Fighter Pass is in development. You're going to get a fighter in a stage and there's 5 of them, or something like that, but even then, I don't think that's likely. I think they will simply save that for another Nintendo Direct or another Smash Direct or something. So I think there is a low chance that we'll find information about the Fighter Pass, but other than that, I think it's going to be entirely dedicated to just this brand new character and whatever's coming in the next update. Alright, so now let's talk about the characters. Now, the first thing that everyone noticed with this announcement is that Sakurai is doing this little 3 symbol in the thumbnail, and of course everyone immediately jumped to conclusions saying, is this a hint? Now usually when it comes to things like this, I am very much in the, you guys are looking too much into it, like with the pictures Sakurai has been putting on Twitter. I don't think that those actually are any hints, but I do think that this isn't nothing, because if we look at all the thumbnails, everything that he's done in the thumbnails is something that he's done in the actual presentation. He's not a YouTuber, so he's not, posing like this, for a thumbnail for them to then Photoshop it. They just grab a pose that he did during it that they think would work best, and then they, make it the thumbnail. So for example, the Banjo one, he's doing this, and that seems very weird, but then we saw in the actual showcase that he was showing where the music was going to come in on the actual video. Every time a new song appeared, he was pointing to where the title was going to show up. So every time there's a thumbnail where he's doing something in the thumbnail for those, they're actually based on something he did in the presentation. And so at some point he does this in the presentation. And so I definitely think that this doesn't mean nothing. Now, whether that pose is super important and it's relevant to the character, or it's just some one-off thing that he did because, it was a joke. He does get jokey in them, so maybe it had to do with a joke or something. We don't know. All I know is that at some point this is going to show up in that presentation, and so it's definitely not just, you know, a pose he chose. But despite all that, people have been looking into it, and there are a few characters that sort of line up with this sort of pose, whether it's a number 3 or it's just an interesting pose. A ton of people have been speculating, and so that's what I want to talk about first. And of course, the first one that I have to mention is Devil May Cry. So first off, there is a ton of circumstantial evidence regarding Devil May Cry that could potentially suggest that Dante may be coming to Super Smash Bros. And the first one is, of course, that Devil May Cry 3, get it? See, that's where the 3 comes in. Devil May Cry 3 is coming to the Nintendo Switch in February 2020, which lines up with the supposed release date of the 5th fighter, because they have until February 2020 to release this 5th fighter. Now, I don't think they're gonna drag their feet on this. I think if it's done, and it's gonna come out. So if it comes out January 30th or it comes out February 15th, you know, it doesn't matter. They have until February 29th, 2020, because this is a leap year. They have until that day to release the final character. So that would coincide perfectly with Devil May Cry 3 coming to Switch in February 2020. But there is more to Devil May Cry that suggests that maybe Dante will be in the game. So first, the official Twitter account for Devil May Cry said that there were 3 specific dates that Devil May Cry fans need to pay attention to with regards to the Switch version of Devil May Cry 3. And one of those dates just so happens to be January 16th, which is the exact same day that we are getting this 5th Fighter DLC showcase. So that is very, very suspicious. Now, it could, of course, just be a coincidence, but people, of course, have been looking at it. It's a Nintendo Switch game, it's Devil May Cry, and it's happening the same day as Smash, and Dante is a hugely popular request for Smash. So it definitely, like, if it turns out that Dante's in the game, all of that definitely seems very suspicious, and definitely seems like it all sort of added up together. The voice actor for V, a character from Devil May Cry, was recently on a podcast, and he was talking about how much he personally likes Super Smash Bros. And how he enjoys to play it. And he was talking about how it would be a dream and a huge goal of his to voice V in either Super Smash Bros. Or Marvel vs. Capcom. Now, his exact quote is, "This is what kills me about it. V is a new character, so I'm not in the Devil May Cry lore enough to ever be considered for Super Smash Bros. To be a part of Marvel vs. Capcom or Super Smash Bros. Would be huge, which is what Dante is going to be." Now, there is the possibility that he was just kind of tongue-tied and sort of just stumbled over his words and accidentally sort of implied that Dante was coming to Smash, and that is very possible. As someone who speaks for a living, I know it's very easy to mess up your words, but it definitely seems like he was implying that Dante was coming to Smash. But then that does beg the question of why the voice actor knows about this even though he's not really involved with it. You know, that doesn't really make sense. So I do feel like there's a very good chance that he might have just stumbled over his words, because Dante is in Marvel vs. Capcom, so there's a possibility he was just referring to Dante in that game. Wasn't really talking about Smash, but because it was a part of the conversation, he sort of included it. I don't know, it definitely could. I feel like here is a 50-50. It could either be he just easily stumbled over his words, or he really accidentally just revealed that Dante is going to be in the game, and that is a major NDA issue. Another character that a lot of people have, of course, been talking about with regards to 3 is Sora and Kingdom Hearts 3, and that's because the Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC is coming out very, very soon here, and so people are saying that it would make sense for Sora to release alongside the Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC. But honestly, I'm about to break some hearts here. I would love to see Sora in Smash, but I just don't think that real-world game releases necessarily mean that the character is going to release parallel with it, because we're 4 characters deep now. Technically 5, but I don't really count Piranha Plant. And so none of those characters have had parallel game releases, and yet it's something that people continue to point towards. Banjo-Kazooie have not had a game in years, and there was no implication based on the DLC that one was coming. While King of Fighters games are on the Switch, it didn't really release alongside Terry. In fact, Sakurai gave recommendations for games that were already out on the Switch, so it's not like they released alongside Terry. Joker has not had a game on the Switch or on a Nintendo console yet. The closest one is Persona 5 Scramble, but that game is not even out yet, and we are 8 months or something from Joker's release, so there's no way that that could be argued that that was meant to be a marketing thing. The only one is Hero, and even though they talked about Dragon Quest XI's in the Hero reveal and, you know, his showcase and everything, Hero came out, and then a bunch of time went by, and then Dragon Quest came out for the Switch. So even though they talked about it, there just wasn't any kind of like parallel marketing, or it didn't coincide with the release. But people still talk about how, oh, this game is coming out around January or February, and so that would be perfect for a Smash character. And like, yeah, it could be perfect for a Smash character, but we've just got no evidence that that is something that's going to happen. And so I don't really subscribe to the idea that a game is coming out around a DLC character, so, oh, it must be that character. We just have no evidence for it. Now, that's not to say I wouldn't love Sora in the game, because I would. I think he would be a very, very cool. There's a lot of potential for a moveset for that character. I think he'd be a really cool character, so I would be down with it. I just don't think the 3, based on history, means a 3 release around the time of the character coming out. Now, I would love to be proven wrong, because we could get Dante, or we could get Sora if it matched up with the 3, or we could get another character that everyone is talking about, Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes 3. Within the last year, No More Heroes 3 was announced, and I believe at the Game Awards, the first trailer was shown for the game, and so a lot of people have been talking about how that would be a cool character who is third party, but is kind of, you know, Nintendo friendly. I don't think that No More Heroes has been on a console that isn't Nintendo. I think the first 2 were on Wii, and now the third one is coming to Switch. So that would be one that I think Nintendo would be very readily willing to work with and, you know, use as advertising for their next game. So I would honestly be cool with Travis Touchdown. I don't know a ton about him. I've looked into No More Heroes because I've thought about playing it before, but I just wanted to track down a copy and I never could. But it seems like a really cool game, so I feel like both the world and the character would be very neat for Smash. He would be another swordsman, but he's got like a lightsaber laser sword type thing, so I think that would be pretty neat. But I don't know. I don't know very much about him, but I would be very on board to see him in the game. And the last character that everyone has been talking about that matches the 3 is Crash Bandicoot, because Crash Bandicoot makes that pose in one of the Insane Trilogy pieces of art, and people are like, oh, maybe Sakurai is like imitating Crash during the direct or something, and that could very well be. I think Crash would be very, very cool to see in the game. He's definitely a gaming icon. I think he would have a really cool moveset, but, you know, I feel like at this point, any of the characters I just said are just as likely as the next, or are just as likely to not be in the game, because we just don't know. I feel like we are so blind when it comes to who the 5th character is going to be. No one has really leaked it, which is unique because aside from Joker, all 3 of the DLC characters, well, 3 of the 4 DLC characters that have been out have been leaked. Joker wasn't leaked because that was kept pretty under wraps, but Hero, Banjo, and Terry were all leaked at some point before their announcement. But this time, we're less than 24 hours. We're like, I don't know, 15 hours, I guess 15 hours. I don't know. That doesn't matter. We are 1 day away from seeing the next character, and nobody has leaked it yet, which I'm pretty happy about. This close to it, I'd rather just wait and be surprised just like everybody else. So I feel like we are super blind, and I'm honestly just super excited to see who the next character is. And I would love to know who you guys think the next character is down in the comments below. I talked about the 3, I talked about a handful of characters that I've seen people mention with regards to that pose, but of course there's just countless characters that you could somehow tie in the 3. I've seen people say it's actually a W and it's Waluigi, you know? There's a ton of stuff that it could be, so I would love to know what you guys think, what character you want, and what character you think it might be, because those, of course, are 2 different questions. But with that said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. I tried to find a pose. Hit the like button. If you're new, please be sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out, and I hope you have an awesome day.